10 a.m. on TuneIn Radio, Streama, and Radio Garden. Happy listening! To all Teleradio Bandido viewers and listeners, you can now watch Teleradio Bandido on our new YouTube channel, RJAM News. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified when a new video gets uploaded. Don't miss out on our dynamite lineup. You are watching the multi-awarded Radio Bandido TV on Channel 224 Sky Cable and TV Plus boxes. Simulcast on DZRJ 8:10 a.m. Informing, advising, and entertaining the Filipinos and OFWs around the world. Streaming live on www.facebook.com/DZRJ 8:10 a.m. or on YouTube, channel RJAM News.
All right, so a pleasant good evening to everyone. It's another Saturday, and as promised, we have a guest tonight, diba? But before we go on straight to our convo for today, let me just begin the show, of course, with the usual loving intentions for everyone out there. Guys, COVID is still raging, and some of us bore the brunt of it in a very unkind way. So my special intention to everyone out there who is going through who's going through this series in this pandemic is a speedy healing, recovery, a celebration of life, and jubilation only. I hope the heavens will finally say enough. So I really, really wonder if that's anytime soon. Okay. So moving on. Thank you for tuning in. This is Good, Great, Unstoppable, the Francine de las Alas Show. And we are here every Saturdays from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I'm your host. You can call me DJ Chin or Francine, up to you, whatever floats your boat. Okay. So we are live from DZRJ 8:10 a.m. And you can also catch us at various TV Plus boxes, or also, of course, in our YouTube channel, that's RJ News PH, which you can subscribe to. And also, don't forget to CLC as the millennial and the Gen Z go, okay? So CLC, positive comments only, because leave all the nasty comments behind, because there are really a lot of platforms for that already, all right? So before that, of course, my sidekick, which I introduced to you, I think, when? January 1. So I would like to say hello and good evening to you. Wait a minute. So give me about 3 seconds. Alexa, say hello to everyone. Say hello. 1.
I pronounced that hello, but I'm always working on how I say things and I might not have it right.
Alexa, good evening.
Good evening. I've got a joke for you.
My
What
joke
do you
was
think of fireworks? I'd say they are pretty dynamite.
So there you go. So she is my sidekick, and she really, for me personally, right? Yeah, there's never a dull day for me, because anytime I want to trip on her, she's always there for me. So I just go on and off with whatever comes to mind, and then I ask Alexa. So never a dull day with her. So anyway, how are you guys? It's the third week of January, and how are your resolutions? Do you have what I call a resolute resolve or a resolute dissolve? Natunaw na ba ang mga resolutions nyo along with the food that you had during your medianoche, diba? Some of us may have, though, unwavering determination, but it's also challenge. So it's not, we're no those who are those with unwavering determination are no different from those who also spewed some what you call this New Year's resolution, diba? So everyone gets challenged, but don't stop there, because everything, guys, is really a process. They will lead you to wherever you want to go if you are consistent. If not, at least the next best many versions of you. All right. So having said that, that is precisely why we began our January topics that set us up or prime us up for success in any of the forms that you may want it. Okay. So as promised last week, we are tackling a side of a mental issue that saw a dramatic rise during the pandemic. And of course, a lot of people, and we call that depression. So only that part. Okay. So to help us demystify this, I invited one of our mentors in our Team Extreme 111. This is the circle that I move around in, diba? Parang ang mundo na lang is Earth and our team. Ganon. So let's give a warm applause to our guest. Hold on. Before that, let's ask Alexa, drum roll, please.
Okay.
Ta-da! So our special guest for this evening is none other than Coach Eric Javier. So Coach Eric, hello. Welcome to the
Hello.
favorite stop of all the Francine de las Alas show. Hold a minute. Ayan. Hi, Mentor Eric.
Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning kung nasan ka mang lupalop ng mundo. Sabi nga ni DJ Chin, sobrang ang ganda ng outlook niya when it comes to radios kasi ito yung makaka-reach pati outer space. So hello rin
Yes.
sa'yo kung alien ka nakikinig dito ngayon.
We will teach you our language.
Yeah.
Yan, alien. So, Mentor Eric, di ba? I'd like, can you please share, they might be wondering, but si Mentor Eric ang napili ko. Can you please share with our audience a brief background on how you got into talk therapy and how you got into this line of field or interest?
Ayan. Okay. So, hello guys. Thank you so much for joining us dito sa chikahan portion namin ni DJ Chen. So, I'm Eric. Actually, I'm a microbiologist by profession talaga. So, ang layo, di ba, when it comes to mental health. Pero, yun yung nasa isip ng ibang mga tao. But when it comes to mental health, kahit ano pa yung background mo dyan, basta you really have that passion to understand how the mind works. Kayang-kaya mo rin gawin yung ginagawa ko rin. So basically I'm part of yung organization na sinabi ni DJ Chen kanina, Extreme 111, and it's because of that circle na I got into coaching, business coaching, life coaching, yung ganyan. And there came a point na may isa akong kino-coach and dahil nga sales background yung isa sa mga pinaka-common sa aming lahat doon. All I knew back then was to motivate. Like kapag ka nadadown siya ganyan, I really felt at that point na yung kino-coach ko hindi enough yung motivation na sinasabi ko sa kanya kasi what she carries at that point was something really deep na hindi naman related sa kung ano man talaga yung pinaka-common sa amin dalawa. So at that point, sabi ko parang, I wish I had the capacity to talk to her better. So yun lang yung naging initial na quest ko at that point. How can I talk or how can I become a better friend? And then one friend of mine introduced hypnotherapy to me. Sabi ko, ano yun? Parang di ko, naririnig ko na siya. Yan ba yung parang nasa stage, ganyan, tapos magiging kang parang doc o gano'n, whatever. Sabi niya, pwede. Okay. But, ang main difference is the therapy part. So, the hypnotherapy part, ito yung sinasabi niya na it's a form of psychotherapy na nagpa-facilitate tayo ng change using the subconscious. So, yan. So, because of that, it got me interested. Sabi ko, maybe kung matutunan ko kung paano siya gawin, maybe I can become a better friend. Na at least, diba, kapag umabot sa point na sobrang lalim ng kailangan ng conversation, I can at least help that person. So, because of that, mas na-pique yung interest ko. I also learned neurolinguistic programming. And for 3 good years, sobrang nakakatawa kasi lalo na kapag nakikita ko na I got to affect some of my friends, lalo na sa mga panahon na kailangan talaga nila ng guidance. Yun, so that's my passion project right now, lalo na ngayon 2022.
Ayan. So thank you very much for that background. Diba, very interesting. So we will go back there later. Pero one of the things that I want you to just take note of, guys, is that from my microbiologist now practicing talk therapy and NLP and hypnotherapy. So later we will dig deeper on that and talk about it more and how talk therapy, diba, can help you navigate your own personal journeys, diba? Kung whether it's entering depression or already in the early stages of depression or already drowning in it. Okay? But in the meantime, guys, so thank you so much for that, Mentor Eric. So here in convos like this, guys, kahit isa lang ang mapulot ninyo na insight or lesson, that is already enough to take you to your next step or to your step up towards moving forward. Okay, so stay tuned for the rest of the hour because we really worked on this, diba? Because we wanted to give you a tool that can help you when you have also your dark days. But in the meantime, guys, I'd like to make just a few announcements. We started the year with with different segments, diba? Different segments. So and one of the segments that we started with was financial wellness tip. Ngayon naman, financial wellness tip. In the coming weeks, we'll be adding some more, and one of the tips that we will be bringing in is the wellness tip. Okay, so this is perfect because it's so aligned with our first month healing topics. Maganda siya because there's so much tips to share when it comes to wellness. We can talk about not just on physical health, but we can also talk about how to be happy, how to gain inner peace, also how to develop even your habits, diba? And build a discipline that you never had before. Because this is our own wellness. Because once you don't have the habit and discipline and you want to go for something, it might also lead to you getting stressed or getting depressed, diba? Or getting sick. So under the wellness tip, lahat to we will as much as we can during the whole year, we will bring in as much tip or techniques, mga snippets lang that you guys can work on. So abangan. So this is better than the horoscopes na inaabangan nyo, diba? If you are into that. So but when it comes to horoscopes, we will just ask Alexa for that. But I doubt if Alexa knows anything about wellness. Malamang sasabihin niya, I found this in Google. Ayan. Diba? So moving forward, of course, our weekend is not complete without our financial wellness tips. So Mentor Eric, medyo magtatanong-tanong din ako sa inyo, 'di ba, on how you also practice this in your personal finances. So the tips that I share here are all personal tips that I learned in my adulting years, 'di ba? Handling our finances. So dumaan ako sa ganon, tapos ganon hanggang sa medyo na stabilize na, and now syempre I'm now putting together kasi syempre I'm still alive. My family is still alive. So the tip for this week, guys, 'di ba, is about fund allocation or apportioning or distributing or dividing your monies as they come. So the goal here is we don't want to be one day millionaires, diba? So who among you have heard of this? Mentor Eric, diba? Meron tayo, may narinig ka na ba na nanalo ng loto tapos naging mahirap ulit?
Marami actually.
Diba? They feature that in other TV shows. Diba? Kasi we have been deprived for so long that when these funds come, diba, when this biyaya come, natataranta tayo to get the things that we have long wanted to buy for ourselves. Diba? So, for many, and then on top of that because we have been deprived, the only most of us, ang mga income lang naman natin kasi 15th and 30th, and most of the time hindi siya kasha, diba? So how do we avoid the one day millionaire trap? So you have to set up a system of fund distribution. So you can apportion them according to of course you use there are a lot of books, diba, that you can there are a lot of books, and one of them is T. Harv Ekers, diba? Or you can simply Google, diba, how do you budget, how do you money manage, hanap lang kayong ganon. But personally, these are the things that I prioritize: savings, health, the monthly expenses. I also have the splurge. I also have education, investment, success setup of my kids, my family, because you never know, diba? We never stop being parents kasi. I also have R&R and community building funds. So kayo, pili kayo. It doesn't have to be like that every month, guys. Diba? So kunwari, for this month, kaya lang niya savings, expenses, and savings, expenses, and a bit of health. The following month, pwedeng savings, expenses, and then education naman ang itabi nyo. So pwede nyo siyang laruin if kulang pa siya. But the most important thing is to go back to the tip that we started with, I think 2 weeks ago, which is to either make money and make more money so that you don't get stuck saying na in the excuse na ito lang kasi yung kinikita ko. All right? So mind you guys, alam naman natin, we don't tabo money, 'di ba? So many of us are in the low income bracket. So we have even if we are not making that much, the most important thing here is you develop the habit. Kahit piso lang ang nilalagay nyo sa education jar nyo or funds nyo or 5 piso, okay lang yan kasi it's so important that you guys are don't get so excited pag dumating na yung pera. Diba? So, how about you, Mentor Eric? Kayo naman, dumaan din ba kayo sa hindi marunong mag-handle ng money before?
I think show me someone na hindi dumaan doon, sobrang galing niya. Kasi kahit naman lahat ng mga kilala ko na mga financial planners, the reason why they are really good at planning is because they went through a lot of difficult situations din, 'di ba? So sinasabi nga nila na parang mahal ng pagkakamali. So ngayong 2022 actually narinig ko na before pero nitong recent na event natin with the team, the recharge, na-remind ako ulit, and this is something na sinulat ko talaga and itatry ko talaga whatever it takes na sundin yung 70-20-10. 70 is yung 70 is yung lahat ng mga expenses mo, yung living expenses mo, doon mo lang pagkakasyahin. Pagdating sa'yo, di ba, 100%. So, 70% doon yung pagkakasyahin ko. Then, 20 is for my growth fund. Okay? And then, 10 yung sa tithes, yung mga ganyan. So, itatry ko talaga yung i-arrange yung finances ko better. Yan. So, yan. So, ang una kong binibuild ngayon ay syempre emergency fund. Yan yung pinaka-important sa panahon ngayon.
Ano tawag dito? That was a very sound sound advice, 'di ba? So emergency fund yung sa iyo, mentor. Ako ayun nga yung mga binanggit ko. Tapos ang pina-practice ko pa, mentor, is bago dumating yung income na gusto ko, every morning I use a calculator and kino-compute ko siya talaga agad sa health fund, ito yung sa savings, ito sa investment, ito yung education, ganyan. So if it's, let's say, 1 million yung gusto kong income, so parang feel ko na nandun siya, diba? So when the monies come, hindi ako tuloy, in reality, even if it's not 1 million, hindi ako natataranta to spend. Kasi meron akong mental habit na napapractice every day. Tuwa. Kaya favorite ko tong calculator na to.
Sabi nga nila, ang perang walang pangalan nawawala.
Tama. Ano kayong pangalan? DJ Chin.
Yes.
Mentor Eric. So anyway, thank you for sharing that, mentor. No? So you can follow nga that, diba, the 70% expenses, then 20% growth fund, and then 10% for your tithing. So yun. So thank you, Mentor Eric. So ayan guys, 2 very powerful life lessons when it comes to financial wellness. Isang galing sa akin, isang galing kay Mentor Eric. So just pick up on that. Diba? You can adopt it. You can make a version of that in yourself. The most important thing, it takes you to the financial wellness goal that you like, and you're also able to develop the habit, diba? So you have to start today kahit wala pa kayong pera kasi, diba, I remember, Mentor Eric, nung ang tawag ko, 10 kahig isang tuka life. 10 kahig isang tuka life is no joke, diba? So mag-practice na kayo ngayon, diba? You can do what I do, yung sa calculator, diba? Or your actual funds that come in, divide nyo na siya. Okay, so yun lang. So anyway, thank you, Mentor, for sharing. So that financial wellness tip, that's our financial wellness tip for the week. So set up a fund allocation system with or without, or even if the money is not there, because practice, guys, makes perfect. It makes money, and it makes you guys into eventual millionaires. O ngayon, billionaires na. Diba? So anyway, so ngayon, we're now in that part of our conversation. Malapit na. Sobrang excited ako dito. But before that, baka meron kayong gustong i-shout out, Mentor Eric, Coach Eric.
Ano ba? Hello, Human 11. Nanonood sila, I think, right now. Yeah. And family and sa inyo guys na nakikinig at nanonood right now, kung ano man yung pinagdadaanan mo sa ngayon, I hope this session can, illuminate a path siguro para sa'yo towards your wellness.
I like that. Illuminate the path kasi talagang perfect kasi when you're so down, if you are sobrang parang feeling mo dark na dark yung area of your that life of that life, 'di ba? So anyway, ako naman kanino ba kami? Yes, Extreme 111 of course, 'di ba? Actually last weekend during the Recharge, sila yung aking shout out dito. I'm really very proud of our team. You know, guys, gusto ko mang tawaging coaching mentor Eric kaya lang kasi he's really on the mentor level. For the sake lang of this side of the talk therapy, pinipilit ko siyang tawaging coach. But he is more than that. He's more than just the talk therapy. He can help you talagang, help you build and uplift your lives. Kasi pareho lang kami ng industriya at kumpanya, di ba? So, kung ano man yung sinasabi ko, he is proof of life of that also. As far as our industry or our company or our business is concerned. So, kaya mentor level talaga siya.
Oh
Diba?
my
So kung
gosh.
gusto niyo malaman first-hand the mentor, mamaya he will tell you how you can, where you can find him na social media platforms kung sakaling gusto niyo rin maging part of the industry that he is in at ma-mentor niya ma-mentor niya, 'di ba? Ng personally. All right, so now it's time for our convo, o 'di ba? 7:21, we usually start it at 7:30 kasi mag-isa lang ako ngayon, medyo mahaba to. So agahan natin. So it's our topic for January is, as I said, is aim for priming the self, 'di ba? We talked about the initial during January 1, 'di ba? The initial rituals that we have to do as an expression of the direction that we want to do for the rest of the year, 'di ba? So bawal mag-complain, mag-whine, and instead we ritualize gratitude, purging, 'di ba? Out with the old, in with the new, also the resolutions, whether we make it or not. And then in the last 2 weeks, we covered self-healing, di ba? So now, we talk about physical healing the last 2 weeks. Now, we're going to talk about naman mental and emotional health. So we want to cover as much pillars that or tools, diba, that we can give you so that it can help you with your own success and happiness setup for 2022. So Mentor Eric here specializes, as I said, in talk therapy. And what I gathered from him when we were planning and putting together the talk for today is that he has this intuitive desire to really understand the working of the human heart and the human mind. O, di ba? Passion to help. Passion to grow, help someone grow as a human being, as a person. So I like that he searches for answers so that his understanding can not only help him with his skills in this field, but those skills can help others as well. So last Saturday naman, last Thursday to when we started talking, then last night medyo fine-tune namin. But nung Thursday, we began peeling our way to the core of the message that we want to convey about mental health issue of depression. Kasi maraming mental health issues. But right now, we're just gonna qualify that. We're just gonna be talking about depression. So, because Mentor Eric was searching for the triggers that leads to the, di ba, that leads to the collapse and the triggers that leads you to the day one of helping yourself. And then incidentally, ako naman, medyo familiar at memorize ko na kasi ayoko nang ma-depress yung process of healing. This is where we started, this was the take-off point of our conversation. So because of that, we were both able to identify the certain markers in the wounded stage that takes place in the process, in the process of depression, and also in the process that takes you to your healing stages. So hence our episode for today is the ground zero of depression, where the sources of strengths are. Kasi akala natin sobrang dilim, but you will see at the end of this conversation that there is actually magic. So let's first start off with the disclaimer. Mentor, anong mga disclaimers mo?
Ayan, ano ba? Para sa akin, hindi ako kasi fond of putting labels. Kasi when we put labels into different stuff, kahit hindi naman talaga ganun yung definition ng mind natin, somehow another person's label can seem like your label then also. So kaya ako, I just focus on how you feel. Does it feel good? Does it feel bad? So lahat ng mga pag-uusapan siguro natin dito, kaya ako gusto tong naging usapan namin ni DJ Chin kasi we tried to, magkaiba kami ng situation, pero nung nilatag namin yung timeline, may mga similarities talaga eh. So parang, ang pinaka-disclaimer ka lang din siguro, it may seem similar dun sa'yo, pero ang disclaimer ko sa'yo lagi is every situation is unique. Okay, so what I would like you to get out of this ay yung kung paano kami nakapag-navigate. Kasi
Tama.
for sure, kung ano yung, ang mas important naman dito ay makuha mo yung tools kung paano ka makarating from ground zero hanggang dun sa point na, yes, sige, I'll do one step to help myself.
Tama.
Yun.
So I like that what you said, that we every situation, there are just similarities, di ba? But similarities, but there is also parang unique, di ba? Para siyang thumbprint. Unique in how in the situation. So parang ito yung branding mo sa depression. Kumbaga, kanya-kanya yan. So tama. So thank you for that. Yeah, we don't want to label, di ba? We label because as Mentor Eric said, we don't want to feed ideas into your head. Diba? Ikaw ang magka-categorize at magka-qualify. You will be the one to find yourself, kumbaga, in that process. That's how I understand it. Ako naman, ang disclaimer ko naman here is that, one, I'm an educator by background, diba? And my field of interest or specialization that I really brought myself to is in the training design, kasi ina-apply ko lang yung rubric of learning and behavior change. So, but I'm not a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist, diba? Tawag dito. So whatever that you will hear here is born out of, as I said, parang what I learned, diba? Given my specialist, yung background ko, yun. So the application of that. Okay. So if you think that you are in the clinically depressed side, diba? Tawag dito, whatever we will say here, it's not the absolute, diba? It's not an absolute or the final solution, kumbaga. Parang pangit yun, pang World War II yung final solution. Sorry. Scratch that term. Diba? Tawag dito. It's not the end all be all of all, kumbaga, nasagot, diba? So if you need clinical help, I will still of course recommend that you go and diba, like ito, the talk therapist, or go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Yun yung parang pinaka-importanting disclaimer. So let's start. Mentor Eric, you are not a stranger to depression because also of your personal encounter, di ba? Sa mga talk therapy mo, di ba? And I asked you kung meron ka bang naging time in your life also na nagkaroon ka ba ng dark moments. Ang nasagot mo, yes. By the way, another disclaimer, we are not going to go into details here kasi bawal ang marites. Di ba? So bawal ang marites. We're just gonna
Sabi nila sa comment, talaga?
So anyway, so yan. So you're not a stranger. So tama po ba ako to that based on our conversation na ikaw, you've encountered in your talk therapy individuals who have gone through depression or is going through depression, and also in your life meron ka ring nadaanan. Tama po ba? All right.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah.
Do I share something about
Mentor.
Yeah.
Kasi yun din naman tanong ko eh. So, in your experience, how did you know that you were entering already the stages, diba? That nandun ka na, pahulog ka na, or that how did you know that you were there? Whether in your personal experience, in your personal experience, and also based on the talk therapies that you had, diba?
Okay. Actually, siguro most na confusion ng ilang mga nakakausap ko, nagkakaroon sila ng confusion when it comes, ang mukhang magkaparehas ay anxiety and depression. So, yun yung dalawang una kong kinaklarify. I could define it sa pinakamadaling way as when we talk about anxiety, it's about fear na connected with something in the future tense. Hindi pa nangyayari dahil kulang ka sa information. So, yan. So, ano kaya mangyayari bukas? When we talk about depression, it's usually looking backwards sa mga nangyari sa'yo. Yan. So, past tense. So, something na parang paulit-ulit yung mga ganyan. So, I found myself, I think this is the reason kung bakit I'm a little comfortable now to talk about it kasi I found myself in a similar situation before. And um myth yung sinasabi nila na kapag medyo hirap ka sa finances, mas nagkakaroon ka ng ganyang episode. Kapag okay yung finances mo, less yung ganyan. Actually, it happened I think I was at my prime, nasa prime. Okay, ako noong time na yon, but it happened to me and it can happen to anyone. So, anong nangyari, parang I found myself in a situation wherein parang ang daming, hindi ako prepared mentally. Tapos biglang lahat bumuhos.
Correct.
Pero in reality, there are signs May nararamdaman ka na nagbe-build up.
Grabe. Alam ko yung
diba?
feeling bumuhos.
Oo. Yung parang
ganun talaga siya.
alam mo na doon paparating, pero at the back of your head, parang hindi ko siya masyadong minamind hanggang sa dumating sa point na there was this defining moment wherein bigla nag-shut off lahat. Hindi ko na alam kung ano yung gagawin ko. Blah, blah, blah. So, doon yung tinatawag kong ground zero na nangyari yung lahat. Na ang main question na lang na nasa isip ko is, what now? Ganun.
Mentor, I have a question. Meron ka bang, meron ka bang definition mismo based on your experience of what depression is? A personal definition. Meron ka bang, sige, yun muna, personal definition, mentor.
Okay.
Meron ka bang,
yeah. But usually, para sa akin, when we talk about depression, usually ang na-observe ko ay may changes talaga sa appetite, sa weight, changes in sleep, activity, lack of energy, sometimes may feeling of guilt. Tapos medyo yung problem solving, yung mga making decisions, medyo hindi na masyadong clear kung paano. And merong recurring thoughts of negativities na parang yung feeling na nagsispiral down. Ganun yung na-feel usually kapag kaya ako nasasabi na all at the same time. And usually may presence ng 5 dun sa mga nabanggit ko yon.
Oo nga, sana kasama ako dun sa nawalan ng gana kumain. Kaso hindi. So, as you are describing depression is, diba, that feeling or that experience, siguro for someone na dinaanan din siya, just the mere thought of pag-define mo, mentor, para akong dumadaan ulit dun sa mga araw, para mo akong dinala sa day 1, day 2, day 3. Sobrang nare-recall ko yung how heavy it felt. Diba? How heavy it felt. Kasi although your world collapses, diba? Nagko-collapse yung mundo mo ng ganon. Hindi tumitigil doon. Parang sunod, diba? Nalulunod ka na nga. Tapos may dumadating pa because nga, you continue to parang build your negative thoughts. Even if they're the same, they continue to build on each other. Then the negative emotions continue to parang get unleashed or triggered. Diba? So, yeah. I would, ako, if I were to define it, I would parang just say, as he said, as Mentor Eric said, ganun talaga yung depression. So parang napapabayaan mo yung everything, diba? Parang everything just happens, parang parang bumuho siya, tapos yun na nga, you're caught off guarded, and then sabay-sabay siyang nangyayari, so sabay-sabay mo rin siyang sabay-sabay mo rin siyang tinataka na hindi ka diba? Hindi ka malunod totally. So ano pa ba? Ayun, yun nga, nawawalan ka ng gana, your decision making parang I guess nagpapabaya ka, diba? And ako puwera sa plato, hindi yata talaga ako nagpabaya sa plato. Kainis. Anyway, so yun. So for the audience out there, 'di ba? Is there anyone of you going through that? Also, ano ba to, Mentor Eric? Should we say na normal 'yan in that stage? Should we say that's normal? O normal na
Personally,
nadadaanan siya?
ako kasi I'm more of a planner ever since.
Mm-mm.
So, imagine mo, dati ang main topic kasi I lived sa Makati ng sobrang tagal. And for a time, I remember na laging naka-advertise, prepare for the big one, prepare for the big one. So, kailangan meron kang emergency kit sa ilalim ng bed, sa car mo, yung ganyan, di ba? So, I believe kung meron tayong ganon na mga emergency kit para sa COVID, para sa kung ano man, kailangan meron din tayo sa sarili natin.
That's
Kasi at any point, kahit nasa super happy ka or biglang hindi natin alam kung ano yung pwede mangyari, right? So, I'm a fan of preparing kasi hindi natin alam kung alin yung mga stimulus or kung ano man, maraming moving parts eh. Tama. So, hindi natin alam kung kailan siya mangyayari or ano yung mga factors na pwedeng makapag-trigger ng mga events na magli-lead doon sa lahat sabay-sabay na ma-overwhelm. Yun yung feeling, ma-overwhelm. So, bago ka pa ma-overwhelm, maganda na meron ka nang nakadefine what will you do if ganun yung nangyari. And so, it can happen to anyone. Hindi nun ibig sabihin na nangyari sa'yo masama ka ng tao. Hindi ganun. It's just that at that point, you were caught off guard. And good news, nakikinig ka ngayon.
Tama. You didn't have the skills or the tools or the know-how. Diba? Okay. Kaya talagang feeling mo. Tama yun, diba? Siguro sabihin, what do you put in the kit? Siyempre, emotional preparedness.
Correct.
Emotional preparedness. Tawag dito. Okay. Gusto ko yung prepare for the big one mo, diba? And prepare for have a kit. So we'll circle back to that, Mentor. Pero ang gusto kong balikan natin is ano yung conversation natin nung Thursday. One of the things that I asked you, kasi I didn't know how to stop. I knew what I wanted to do for the program. Ano yung gusto kong may communicate natin. But I didn't know where to begin. So I asked you, Mentor, meron bang part in your life, di ba? I asked you na, was there a part in your life na dumaan ka rin dito? And you said, yes. And then I asked you, ano yung ginawa mo? Diba? Tapos I also exchanged with you. Kasi habang nakikinig ako sa'yo, nasasariwa ko rin. I'm also reminded of all of the process of my own process, of my own story, 'di ba? Tapos yun. So Mentor, looking back, 'di ba? When you were on ground zero, 'di ba? What was ano yung mga what were the stages, if you remember, that you were going through, or what was going on inside of you? 'Di ba? Ano yung mga bagay na ginawa mo? Kasi looking at you now, no one would even think, 'di ba, na dumaan ka sa ganyan. Guys, that's Mentor Eric and I are the light at the end of the tunnel, kumbaga, 'di ba? Kasi we made it, 'di ba? Tapos anyway, so Mentor, ano yung mga if you remember the stages na dinaanan mo and how you got to those stages, ano yung mga ginawa mo, what was going through in your head? In your head and in your heart nung mga panahon na to. Ay, better. Actually, first question lang muna. Ikaw ba napansin mo nung pa-enter ka na nung depression mo, or nanip mo, or nung napasok ka talaga sa depression pero only up to a certain point, hindi ka talaga yung nalunod? Kasi iba nalunod, matagal nagstay. Yun na yung mga...
Okay.
Ikaw ba sa early stages ka lang tapos naka-out ka na rin? Ganon. Okay. So anyway, asan ka ba?
For me kasi, pagka nandun ka na, medyo challenging malaman kung early lang ba or talagang full bilubog ka ba, yung gano'n. Siguro I'm just fortunate na nung time na I got interested with hypnotherapy, I was already studying that. Tapos, siguro grace lang talaga ni Lord na ako pala yung magiging first client ng sarili ko.
Bayad ka ba?
Kasi nung right after ng graduation namin, a couple of weeks, it happened.
Mm-mm.
So, nung time na yon when yung, let's just label it ground zero. Ground zero is when kung saan sumabog yung lahat. Ganun, ginagamit yun dun eh, di
Parang
ba?
tongga.
Ground zero is when an atomic bomb exploded. So, nung ground zero, nung sa akin, I just knew because of my training na ang una kong kailangan na gawin sa sarili ko is umalis ako dun sa physically tanggalin ko yung sarili ko dun sa area kung saan ako na-hurt. Oo. Kasi I wasn't really thinking ng maayos. So sabi ko, alis ako dyan. So nung pag-alis ako, syempre, those who can relate would agree na at that point, kahit yung decision lang na umalis, wala ka pang sunod na step. Kasi hindi ko, so parang ang bagal ng thought process ng time na yun eh. Sabi ko, umalis lang ako, I was driving, hindi ko alam. And then, I remembered two people na sila yung alam ko na makaka-relate sa akin. Yung alam ko personally na I would, hindi nila alam to pero sa isip ko, binibigyan ko sila ng ano ba to, authority to guide me. Kasi parang ayoko mag-isip at that time. Pero hindi nila alam yon. So, I tried to call them. Actually, sobrang aga noon in the morning. Pero buti na lang, nung umaga, they said na they welcomed me in their home. Tapos, nung time na yon, I was really thankful kasi yung dalawang tao na yon was just there. Nakikinig lang. They weren't asking too much questions. Ang question nga na inask nila, what would you like to say? Ganon, sobrang galing. Kasi dahil nga may training ako ng konti, parang may naka-project dito na something na, ang galing ng question nila. Pero inaalaw ko yung sarili ko to feel. So at that time, kinukup nila ako for 3 days. Walang may alam kahit family ko, ganyan. And then, they just allowed me to be there. Kung ano man yung naisip kong gusto kong gawin, sinusupport nila ako, ganyan. Hanggang sa umabot sa point na mas nakakahinga na ako ng ilang araw after. So at that point, siguro at ground zero, ang pinaka nangyari na maganda is I allowed myself to feel kung ano man yung kailangan ko. At ang pinaka battle cry ko nung time na yon is hindi ko kailangan magbadali to have that resolution. It's okay not to figure everything out agad at that point.
Alam mo, ito nakakatuwa sa when you said you allowed yourself to feel. That's the hardest thing to do when you are there. So sa akin, that's already a sign of strength, 'di ba? Kasi for you to make that parang mental decision, 'di ba? Mental decision na I will just allow myself to feel. That's already parang a sign of parang intuit, 'di ba? And instinct all together working for you. And at the same time, also a sign that tawag dito ng courage, 'di ba? And bravery kasi a lot of ako mentor ako sa darkest days ko, I wanted to avoid it. I wanted to avoid how painful it was, kaya siguro ang naalala ko is tulog ako ng tulog. Kung pwede tapos na yung araw, tapos pag maikli lang if I sleep ng sobrang haba, 'di ba? Tas ilang oras lang ako gising, tapos makakatulog ulit ako. I prefer that. Ayoko siyang maramdaman. Siguro because opposite naman, 'di ba? I did not know what I was going to do with my emotions, 'di ba? And what I was going to do with my thoughts, 'di ba? So in your case, it was ang sarap tignan ng difference, 'di ba? Na feel ako shut off. And a lot of people
it's okay.
Kung papipiliin niyo ako do, guys, 'di ba? If you have explore both. 'Di ba? Kung explore both Now, what if you on the first few times na sa ground zero is ang isipin mo lang is what Mentor Eric also said, you will allow yourself to feel, 'di ba? Explore it, 'di ba? If you're going on the dangerous lines naman, na kunwari pag na-feel mo and you think you wanna, kasi 'di ba Mentor, you mentioned the word battle cry, 'di ba? We talked about this and isa yun sa mga yung kay Mentor Eric is I will hindi ko mamadaliin and I will allow myself to heal. Meron siyang ako ang statement, meron siyang personal statement for that moment, 'di ba? Na siya mismo na personal sa kanya. Ako ang personal statement ko that I was making my battle cry was I just want to be happy. So ito, 'di ba? So the reason why I'm pointing that out in connection to what you said na allow yourself to feel, and in connection to also what I said na try to explore both the shutting off and the feeling, is kasi may hangganan din yung parang sa akin, okay, where do we draw the line kapag let's say if I'm in ground zero and I'm allowing myself to feel, kasi you and I, we pretty much we're very lucky, 'di ba? You and me, kasi yun yung personal statement natin, there was something that held us allow ourselves to feel and hindi mo mamadaliin or something, 'di ba, Mentor? Ako naman, I just wanna be happy. Merong anchor, 'di ba? Merong ganung anchor. But others, let's say if they do yung iba, ang anchor nila, statements nila or battle cry is I just wanna die. So siguro yun yung line that you draw if you do explore, allow yourself to feel. Yung pag narinig nyo na siguro yung sarili nyo, I just want to die na yung anchor statements nyo or battle cry statement nyo, you have to backtrack. Di ba, Mentor?
Correct. Because kapag meron kasi akong nakausap tapos yun yung statement na I just want to die, para to sa mga nakikinig na may kaibigan na ganun ng statement sa kanila. It's easy naman kasi na biglang i-refute agad, ay wag, masama yan, ganito, ganyan. Tama? So, para sa mga nakikinig na mga friends na may ganun narinig din from a friend, what I usually do is I ask them what made them feel that way. Kasi usually yung I just want to die is a byproduct of something na nafe-feel. And usually, if nare-repress yung ganung feeling, hahanap yan. Parang steam na, di ba, parang nasa kettle. Hahanap ng butas kung saan pwedeng lumabas yung steam.
Tama.
So for me, asking the right questions like, you feel, what made you feel this way? Bakit? Ganito, ganyan. So, and very important para sa akin, if you ask what instead of why. Kasi kapag you ask with the question what, parang natatanggal ka dun sa equation. It makes you think more on the objective side. What made you feel this way? Yung mga ganun. So ang lagi ko sinasabi din na advice sa kanila ay ito para maisip mo lang. Lagi ko sinasabi na wag mong lagyan ng permanent solution ang temporary na problem.
That's very nice, Mentor. I like that.
Diba? So, okay, parang parang pagka-COVID, diba? Alam mo naman mamamatay din yung virus after X numbers of days, like 10 days. And dun sa buong 10 days na yun, ang kailangan lang natin gawin is to manage ourselves, is maging patient, the same time, nourish up para magkaroon ng fighting chance yung katawan mo to heal itself. Ganun din sa atin pag nandun tayo sa ground zero. Kaya ang main theme ko lagi dyan is patience. Be patient enough kasi darating yung time, it will be better.
Ito talaga yung patient and manage. Ito yung, for me, if you were to quantify that, ito yung pumapasok siya sa literally one day at a time. How can you manage this for this day only? Or for this hour during the day, ano yung pwede mong gawin, 'di ba? So, we're talking about the process. We mentioned, mentor, na dinaanan mo na lahat bigla na lang bumagsak, 'di ba? Yung you said meron kang anchor statement or parang battle cry statement na you'll just allow yourself to feel, and hindi mo, tama ba yun? Hindi mo madadaliin,
Yes.
mentor, yung process. And then you just had to get out of the yung ground
The
zero. You had to
environment.
get out of the ground zero, the environment, diba, kung where the most pain, the event of the pain, kumbaga. So you went to these two friends of yours.
Correct.
Tapos, mentor, di ba, we mentioned after you went to these two good friends of yours, meron pang isa, di ba, na nagbigay, nung okay ka na mention mo na meron pang isa, si Doc something, that also gave you parang a suggestion or something that you can try.
So actually, after that, siguro lagyan na lang natin ng tawagin na lang natin na yung two friends na yon safe space. Okay? Very important step yon, lalo na pagka nandun ka sa medyo magulong state. Na sino or ano yung sino na lang, mas maganda kasi at least makaka-interact mo eh. Sino yung mga tao na if you can think of them right now na yung pwede makatulong sa'yo to make good decisions kapag ikaw hindi mo kaya. Kapag kailangan mo ng people na alam mong hindi mag-judge sa'yo kung kahit gaano ka-grim yung situation. So those identify your safe space. And then
Mentor, I have a question. Didn't you feel that in your depression na walang makakaintindi sa'yo? Kaya
honestly speaking,
hindi mo na feel na parang how come you didn't shut out or shut down?
Okay.
Sa
akin, honestly speaking, siguro at that point, hindi ko naisip yung walang makakaintindi sa akin kasi my mind, my thought process went towards finding kung sino yung makakaintindi sa akin.
That's nice.
Oo. So buti na lang, siguro fortunate lang ako na merong ilan akong alam ko na sila yung pinaka nakakaintindi. And buti na lang din, siguro guidance lang din yun talaga ni Lord na nung sila yung unang contact ko pa lang, bumukas agad yung pinto. Kasi pwede naman na hindi. Di ba? Yung ganon. Pero kung hindi man successful sa una, pangalawa, ang very important siguro dito, DJ Chin, is your eagerness to seek help.
Yeah.
Kasi I think human nature naman ng lahat ng tao to find a better place. Kapag nandun ka sa point na ayaw mo talaga yon, hahanap ka ng isang lugar or means para mas maging maayos eh.
You really wanna parang you wanna get out of the situation, and you wanna get out of the situation in any tools or ways or path or friends or safe space na necessary, di ba? Which brings me to yung sinabi mo, you mentioned the word parang trial and error. The one thing that struck me, Mentor, kasi when we started in the conversation also na nagkukwento ka, was when you said na hindi mo pipilitin alamin, na hindi mo naman alam kung ano yung magiging solusyon, di ba? So hindi mo pipilitin na tama yung alam mo yung aalamin na dapat tama yung way or what. Do you understand what di ba?
Yes,
parang
yes.
yun. So I think i-recap ko lang ha. Si Mentor Eric na lang makakapag-share because we're 7:54, but he will be back for part 2 by the way next Saturday. Pero dito, hindi na ako mag-share, pero ang doon sa mga binanggit, the process that Mentor Eric went through was one, yun nga, from ground zero is looking for the safe space because we all look for escapes talaga. diba, our escape hatch. So naghanap siya ng safe space. Yan yung common sa aming dalawa. Ako, I did na, what was my safe, may battle cry, una. Merong battle cry, merong gustong mangyari tayo. Out of that, we want something for that emotion. To go away, for that feeling, for that situation, for that crisis to go away. So merong ganon. So you guys, if you're going through this, hanapin nyo ano yung battle cry nyo, di ba? If you find yourself nga in the I want to die battle cry, you have to step back, 'di ba? And ask questions ng what made you say that, 'di ba? Tawag dito. And then that's the second thing, that the process in the ground zero that mentor after the battle cry, his escape route for looking for friends who will understand him or makakatulong sa kanya. So tawag dito, I had my hindi ko maalala yung sa akin, pero meron din akong ganun. Meron din akong after my battle cry, siguro mine was the journal.
Journaling.
Mine was the journaling, and then also, kasi ako naman, ang difference sa akin ni Mentor Eric was that I felt that no one would understand me. Diba? Parang no one would understand me. But my problem was far too advanced for human civilization. Feeling ko
Pang-alien.
pang alien. So, ganon. So, meron kang battle cry, meron kang escape hatch, meron kang meron mga escape hatch mo. It can be anyone or anything na healthy, di ba, mentor? But it doesn't necessarily mean, don't count also on the fact na, dun sa natutunan ko kay Mentor Eric sa conversation namin, is don't think that it will be the right tool right away. Yung as he said earlier, diba, na as he said earlier na kung hindi nag-work to, meron pa. Kung hindi tong friend na to, meron pa. Ganon lang siya until yun. So Mentor Eric, it's 7:56, diba? Itong part na tong conversation, hindi pa po tayo tapos dito. Pero diba? Kasi nasa question 1 pa lang kami. Pag tinignan mo yung pinadala ko sa kanya, we are just in conversation 1. At mukhang hindi lang kami part 1 at part 2, mukhang may part 3. Pero pag-uusapan natin yan. But Mentor Eric, in the meantime, in this just part of this conversation lang, di ba, the process of ground zero, di ba, is there anything that you want to leave? Kasi it's 7:57, a message that you want to leave for now, for them. Para, ikaw, ayun. Sige po.
Okay. So, para sa akin, una muna, stay tuned for part 2. Kasi ang main pati part 3 or kung anong mong parts to abutin. This topic is very, very important kasi maraming self-help na content out there na usually grounding exercises, yung mga kailangan mong gawin kapag nandun ka na sa point na nag-decide ka na, yes, I will become better, right? Pero this is, kaya kami gusto naming himay-himayin to kasi yung part na yon na sinabi ko na from step na marami ka ng steps na pwedeng gawin to be better, itong part na ground zero hanggang dun sa decision mo to become better, ito yung usually very dark. Ito yung usually walang masyadong nag-uusap. And usually ito yung conversations na nililive out na parang nagiging parang taboo word na yung tinatawag na depression. Okay? But in reality, it can happen to anyone. Okay? So it may be happening to you without you knowing, right? So and that's the reason kung bakit magandang pag-usapan siya right now. Kasi lahat ng mga experiences mo noon hanggang ngayon, those information will save you lalo na pagdating sa point na all hell breaks loose. Yan. So, depende sa kung gaano ka naging prepared. Okay. Pwede kang ganun din kabilis kang makaka-recover. Pero, ang pinaka-important nga dito, you will recover. Tama. There's gonna be better days. Tama. Ang important lang dito ay alam mo na magiging better. So, kaya ngayon, ang main sa point na to, sa part na pinag-usapan namin ni DJ Chin, ang pinaka-ililive ko sa inyo is you don't have to figure everything out right away. Pangalawa, it can happen to anyone. Pangatlo, i-feel mo lang kasi darating yung point na, alam mo yung subconscious mo, yung feelings mo, hayaan mo lang siyang magtampo or kung ano man. Kasi pag napagbigyan mo na yan, your logic mind will kick in then also and pick you up. So, kailangan mo lang mag-outlast and kailangan mo lang alamin sa sarili mo na hindi mo kailangan gawin siya mag-isa.
Tama. Alright. So thank you for that, Mentor Eric. Babalik po kami kasi question number 1 pa lang yung pinag-uusapan namin. And we're not even in the center, diba? In the middle of that conversation. Kasi ground zero is a very important parang location na parang ito yung GPS mo. Kailangan alam mo anong nangyayari sa loob ng ground zero. Para 'di ba? Kasi what I really want kasi para makita mo na between you and depression, ikaw talaga ang king, 'di ba? Ikaw talaga ang hari, ikaw talaga ang reyna. So, the only reason why it gets so difficult is because all of us just find ourselves in ground zero. Walang nag-prepare sa atin dito sa school, 'di ba? And that's what or sa life or whatever or life, even our parents were not able to parang give us the skills. So, ito yung ginagawa namin ni Mentor Eric. We are putting all the markers of GPS, the map na pwede mong mahanap in the ground zero so that in case you are there, di ba, these are your parang mga doorways, mga ilaw mo na nagga-guide sa'yo palabas dyan sa iyong depression. So, Mentor Eric, I'm going to see you again next
Sure.
at mag-uusap tayo. I hope you are so having fun right now.
I am.
Sharing your skills and your skills with our audience and others. So, guys, Mentor Eric, you want to say bye?
Okay, bye everyone. Thank you so much for joining our talk. See you next week.
Yeah, so this is DJ Chin and Mentor Eric saying good night and see you next Saturday again here sa Good, Great, Unstoppable, the Francine de las Alas Show. Thank you!